Hello, and welcome back for another one of my squirrel-brained projects. Today, I'm making a felt pennant flag banner that proclaims cosplay to hang beneath a wooden squirrel-brained sign I made a couple of years ago for my first mini maker fair. When I exhibited at that first fair, I didn't have much focus on a particular type of making. But now that I'm diving into costumes and props, I wanted to add to my sign in a way that showcased my new focus. And since Velcro holds the banner into place, I can change the flags out whenever I want. For this project, I decided everything should come out of my stash. I used a blue felt for the flags themselves, cotton fabric for the lettering, double-sided interfacing, and some miscellaneous hardware to hold everything together. My tools were simple: chalk, scissors, snippers, an iron, and of course a pattern. I got started on the flags first. After creating and cutting out a pattern on my computer, I marked out the triangles I needed on my blue felt and cut them out. Felt is an easy fabric to use for this project because it doesn't fray, although it's worth being a little careful with the iron since it is polyester so it can melt. If I made these flags with a fraying edge, I would have added a hem allowance of about 1/2 inch around the edges. Next, I moved on to the lettering, which I also printed from my computer and pre-cut. To attach my letters to the flags, I'm using a double-sided fusible interfacing. This stuff is super useful and is going to save me hours of hand stitching. The first step is to trace out all my letters, backwards of course, onto one side of the interfacing paper. Keeping the letters together in a single sheet, I peeled away the back side of the interfacing and smoothed it onto the back of my cotton fabric. About 10 seconds with the iron is enough to tack it into place. Once everything is cool, I can cut the letters out. This part is a little bit slow, but it's worth it to be careful since I'm not going to do any additional finishing on the edges. Finally, it's time to attach the letters to the flags. I laid out a few of the flags together so I could center the letters prior to ironing them on. I just eyeballed this, but to keep things even, I used each letter to guide the position of the next as I ironed them on. To attach the letters, I simply peeled away the remaining paper backing, gently stuck them into place, and hit them with another 10 seconds with my iron. Now that my letter flags are complete, and I'm pretty sure I've spelled cosplay correctly, I can move on to connecting them together. My initial plan was to connect the flags using small gold-colored rings I had left over from another project, but then I discovered that they were solid, so I had to make my own jump rings using a simple chainmail technique. First, I cut a length of light gauge wire and carefully wrapped it around a pencil into a tight coil. Once wrapped, I used a pair of snippers to carefully clip out the loops of wire into small jump rings. These rings have an open edge, bend easily, and will make connecting the flags together a breeze. To attach the rings between the flags, I also needed to add eyelets through the felt of the top 2 corners of each flag. For this, I have a cheap pair of eyelet pliers. I simply positioned an eyelet onto the pliers, lined up the corner of the flag, and clamped down. The felt is soft enough that the pliers cut easily through the fabric while squishing the eyelet into place. Once that was completed, I attached the flags to each other. Eyelet to jump ring to solid ring to jump ring to flag. At the beginning and end of the banner, I made a short length of chain with the remaining jump rings so that the flags can be attached to my squirrel brain sign. And the final banner is now complete, and just in time for the East Bay Mini Maker Fair on October 21st in Oakland, California. If you're in the Bay Area, you should come check it out. It's a fun show with lots of hands-on projects for the kids and interesting talks and exhibits for the adults. I'll be sharing some of my costumes and props, and so I hope to see you there. Even if you can't make it, please subscribe for more project videos and say hi to me in the comments below. Thank you, and I'll see you soon with another squirrel-brained idea.